You have the threat of like the Rise, you can also provide some of that poke, and the Gwen can get that on the flank. I also think it makes the Rakan really hard to play into. Nautilus is often picked up as the answer to Poppy instead. Out of all the engaged supports, his engage is limited the least by here, because if you throw the Q, even if the Steadfast Presence comes out, you still connect with it. So I feel like that's the reason they don't go for the Rakan there. And I think T1, right, you throw the Cataclysm down onto the Sivir and you can just slam her into it. It also means you have a good, some tools in terms of disengaging. I think Nongshim, their comp, you know, it's pretty straightforward with what they do in terms of setting up their engage. But I think T1 have some options. I think their neutral state's pretty good. I think their 1-3-1 is pretty...
Okay, let's get into the Rift. Game number 1. Oh, I got baited because I thought it was going to be fan chance, but they never, the fan chance never happened in the right timing when it's the home ground. So that was a little bit awkward. Oh wait, hang on. We had them. They're on. Was that to get this wave into an okay position? The exhaust goes down, and this is what I was saying. Due, no ghost. Will need to flash. It was a decent flash direction, but he's still going to be in range of those scissors, and it's a solo kill for Doran.
Faker and Ona say, you know what? We'll take a free kill.
Yeah, they're going to look for it as Gideon wants to come on over, but unfortunately the monkey is a little too late, so he will slink back into the...
Ultimately, even with the Hail of Blades, there's not that much DPS from Guma in these 2v2s, whereas you can just keep pumping damage.
Faker coming on over here as Gideon does smite, even though it's on 48 health. There's the exhaust down onto Calyx. Cyclone comes on through though as Doran. I know you're really strong, but you're not quite 1v3 strong just yet, as it's going to be another grub to be taken here. Nongshim will be able to lock that one down. Now Warrior Trickster and Spirit Rush are going to be able to get these two over the wall, and instead it's actually Gideon having to flash Warrior result for it.
Yeah, maybe that was decisions, in which case, fair play.
Honestly, if it is, that's kind of crazy because we needed a fair bit of hindsighting to come up with this as the justification for just not pressing a button. Sneaky Monkey comes out of the brush, and they are all inside the circle. Gwen is not immune, and sometimes...
Feel to get this plate. And that's, oh, they actually might find him.
Yeah, Lehens is coming down here as Faker can just walk into the Realm Warp, but he was right on top of Lehens. Lehens finds the ulti there as well, buys time for Jiu to make his way back, and Faker ain't flashing out of that one because Lehens was already over the wall, and Jiu grabs himself his first kill of the game. That's Feats of Warfare over to Nongshim as well.
Jiu.
Oh, he cancelled it. As of course I think Doran probably would have been able to, and Jiu is well and truly dead yet again.
Say, maybe if he'd gone...
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Owner taking a lot of damage here. Lehen's trying to hold on. The carrier just knocks Kingen up into the sky. Heroic Charge comes down, and Doran threads the needle as best he can. Was Kingen trying to get something off the backhand, but he's not going to be able to do so. Now Lehens is in an awkward spot. Does get a max range dredge line. I don't know whether this will be getting him to safety, and it doesn't. In fact, so down goes the Nautilus as well. And T1, I mean, it was some steps forward there from Nongshim, but T1 just kind of did some big old leapfrogging and have found another advantage.
Yep.
Okay, Faker and Gideon fighting one another. Here's a Cyclone. As once more, Jiu going to be able to find a really nice spell shield. Faker having to get himself out of the way here. And the flash follow comes through from Gideon, who picks up a solo kill on the Rise, who is around the red buff. Owner takes a Rift Herald. We're doing things everywhere right now. Kingen having a little bit of a rough time here as the equalizer will go down just to clear out the wave, but my goodness, that's what it feels like to be hit by the kitchen sink, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, Owner grabbing credit for that kill. It's Calyx taking a fair bit of damage here from Faker as well. And he will hold on to his ward as a reward. Or won't need to reward because he saves the ward. And that's his reward.
Do you see Nongshim pick up a dragon on the other side though, but it's a good proactive play from T1. They will get a tower off the back of it as well. And I'm waiting for the moment where something else happens, because usually that's, we get the one play and then the other play on the
where they'd like to put it, as Otacon has been started.
I mean, it's just after 20 minutes, it's just spawned. Of course, T1 are going to start it. This is their new Not even a Baron.
This is how you do it. Well, Lehens is going to spot out what's going on here as Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the monkey, and now there is just nothing that Nongshim can really do. The Equalizer comes on through. That is going to be the smite. Locked down. Beautifully done here by T1 as there is the knock-up onto Doran. Flash out from Lehens, but the Needles are going to follow him. Now Calyx looking for his way forward. Does manage to get the charm onto Calyx here as the Realm Warp trying to get T1 out. Carrier dives forward, wants to just buy some space, and he'll get it. Calyx, that is only 4. That's just, it's not very, very good. As, all right, bit of a dive here on this top side of the map as Faker could be in trouble, and by could be, I mean definitely is. Calyx tanking up this turret for way too long though, and Faker will just get back to clearing out this wave. So never you mind, they just didn't have the damage, didn't hit enough buttons, and the blue guy is going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, he just picked up his Seraphs on his last back, so that extra shield came in really clutch there.
Really big up in 30 seconds time. I think they had time to be able to get over and at least test this.
Maybe that thought process was they all go bot, T1 get control of top side, and once they lose control of top, they're never getting it back.
Well, that is going to be the Cyclone connecting onto Carrier, but the anchor does not land. Second Cyclone is going to be enough to put down the Poppy. As now Calyx going forward will get knocked up by the flag and drag, but Gumayushi's in no man's land. He's just dead. And Nongshim getting 2 quick kills. Doran now dashing around here looking for Kingen. Kingen trying to keep him interested so that Gio can come over and get even more. And now that the Baron has spawned and there are 2 dead on the side of T1, Nongshim are feeling like they have a chance to take it.
Yeah, there are some low health bars, so we'll see if T1 opt to contest this. This 5v3, looks like they're resetting the Gwen, so I think they might just go for a steal. It's risky, but Order is alive.
Yep, Faker seeing what he can do here. Hook is going to connect there as they're looking to distract Owner. The Cataclysm comes on through. Down he goes. And that is going to mean the Baron goes over to Nongshim as well. And I thought giving up that Drake wasn't going to work, but with the pick, oh my God, was it beautiful here from Nongshim.
Yeah, we'll see who gets caught on the exit though. Great charm will stop Faker, but I think Kingen might be...
Look at that pesky ward spotting him out as he's going to try and go for the empowered recall. As Doran will take a bit of damage, but in the meantime, it's just Kingen dead. So that is 1 Baron removed. Find it last time around as now he's boosting on over. Does have the Cinders. Depth charge going to be able to knock him up, and then he picks him up with the anchor. Another Cyclone is going to deliver Faker another death here. As 0-3-0 is unfortunately being bait right now. As Calyx, he's going to take it. The Chains of Corruption come down. It's a very early Zhonya's as Faker does get hooked, but maybe it's an overextension this time for Lehens. Doran goes in. I don't know about that as the Keeper's Verdict will knock the monkey away, and down goes the Sivir. T1 find their prize, and down goes Nongshim. Gideon just had to watch from the sidelines as he had to vacate via a gigantic hammer. And that is 3,500 kills for Faker.
He finds it now, Realm Warping the minions. Looks like they're going to try for the end on the back of that fight. T1, give them an inch, and they'll take a mile. It's only Gideon up to see if he can try and defend 1v5.
Yep, Gumayushi going to be tanking that turret, keeps these minions alive, and T1 continuing to push. I mean, it's a little bit dicey. Lehens is up in 2 seconds, but him and Lehens, I don't even know whether they're going to be able to stop this. First Nexus turret does go down. The second one is going to evaporate. There is so much damage. Gideon goes down. Lehens cannot stop it. And there goes the game in the blink of an eye. T1 just say, nah, we win these.
Got to be a heartbreaker for not.
Where it felt like Nongshim were really carrying that game under, like, it was running at the beat of their drum, right? Like, they were able to move over toward that bottom side. They set up. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. I feel like that's a no-brainer. It'd be so much power. Don't scare us like that. Come on, man. Carrier instead going to do his signature pick here. Recently picked up a skin on this one, I'm pretty sure, although starting to lose count with the amount of skins these players have.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nongshim end up with this composition. They have a ton of protection for the center. They're kind of banking on the fact that she'll become this long-range cannon who can just attack from such a distance. And if you try and dive in, they have a lot of bulky champions to kind of peel, and the Viego has the kind of throughput in fights. He has that reset potential. So I think DPS-wise, they would struggle without that. On the side of T1, they have that knock Orianna combo, and they can kind of
a synopsis that we can read. But first, it is time for us to get into the game, and I think there'll be fan chants. There's a guy yelling, but I don't think he's doing the fan chants. Names that are in a lane by themselves. As okay, Kingen going to be running away from both. See, like we knew, this was just going to happen, right? Doran's going to flash in. There's a solo kill.
If you just flash the ult.
Yeah,
flash the ult.
Yeah, yeah.
The ult like you're like, Lehen's just like, hey buddy, a little bit late. I've been delayed. Carrier's been a little bit of a hassle. Just play safe. Okay. Just flash the ult.
Yeah.
Doesn't flash the ult.
He definitely did not flash the ult. Or much of anything at all after that as well.
Just
Doran going in against Jiu and Lehans. Another public execution. Another possibly dead Jiu here as he does get the piercing darkness. Keeps himself alive. The Dawning Shadow as the last turret shot comes in. But there are even more bullets on this map. And the curtains have been called on Jiu's life once again. He almost got his revenge. But he just doesn't quite manage to nail it as Calyx not going to be dying just yet either as Gideon coming on over, gets the flash on in. Heroic entrance, Faker going to get knocked up and probably taken down here as he has no flash and no chance to get out. Gideon. Remember when Rengar had his bone tooth necklace?
Yeah.
That was my favorite stacking. As Calyx, this is his least favorite moment. Never mind! He's going to turn it around. The Dawning Shadow comes in. Carrier trying to keep Faker alive as the magical journey is unable to be taken.
G would get him out of a dicey situation. I will say though, T1 looking at the second dragon feels a little bit crazy they're able to get this one considering Fake is dead. And I think Nongshim agree. Moving over now.
Yep. The Catfish does not approve. And there is the flash in from Gideon. Actually, no, it was just information overload. There is the paranoia, though. And Jiu, this time going to be able to move over to his teammates. Devour comes through from Lehens this time, and that will keep him alive. The flash out as Gideon looks for that reset. There is the tongue lash, and down goes the Nocturne. Feats of Warfare alongside it. As, man, that Dustbringer coming out from Gideon was terrifying. Gumayushi in unison here between our top laners as Gideon finds Carrier, but Owner is lying in wait. There is the combo as Lehens can just gobble up the Viego. Gumayushi coming on over. Dawning Shadow comes in. The shield is there, and this Tahm Kench is so tanky. Down goes the Viego, though. And the Tahm Kench is just on a silver platter, surrounded by T1 members. And that was not the fight Nongshim were looking for that time, as Kingen had teleported in. And now he is likely to just get sent home in a body bag. Not quite able to flash out of the way, but still having to use everything to just try and escape. And what happened?
I'm not really sure on the thought process of that play from Nongshim. There are just so many things wrong with it.
They're getting the play out of the way instead of it being a game-losing one at the end.
Yeah, something like that. But, I mean, T1 are just so Faker, but it just...
Maybe they thought that Galio might sometimes be involved. As Kingen has found Owner, he goes all out, actually, as Faker will turn up. Kingen will get shockwaved as well, as now he's just possibly in trouble. But he'll get healed up by the Piercing Darkness. Carrier comes over. There is the Tempered Fate. Will connect on to Kingen as he eats a lot of the CC. Redemption going to be doing a fair bit of damage as well as Owner is sped up by the Dissonance. Man, didn't know that was part of the combo. As they are going to be able to get the stun. There is the public execution as well, and it's Doran that uses that as a way to taxi over to Jiu, who will get shielded up. That is everything that Nongshim had just to keep 3 members alive. Curtain's getting called here, as you can see Gumayushi fishing for it. Lehens will get stopped on the back. And you can see that Jiu is out of range, so no need to worry about that one. Calyx continuing to be in a different lane.
Oh, here's the test. Can he get down to the bot lane?
All right. Will the drift... Oh, that was cool.
Oh!
That was gorgeous.
There we go. Slick with it.
Yep. Can actually provide a magical journey for Faker as well, so that Faker can experience exactly what Carrier just did on that journey to the bottom lane.
Us starting fights randomly, and then the whole team is trying to bail them out.
Yep.
And then they just die.
Yep. It's like they have something that they really want to do, but they're spending their entire time just at the police station paying bail money.
Yeah.
Without being able to actually do anything that they really needed to do, you know? As, all right, Paranoia has been popped here as it's another fight. Doran taking a little bit of damage. The redemption down here for T1 just to try and keep them alive as Kingen is dead. But Nongshim, not quite...
he didn't need to do that.
He did not need to do that, but it was sometimes rush of blood to the head. I mean, I remember seeing a similar play to that relatively recently, but that's just a Doran Ambessa.
Yeah,
you got to take the good with the bad.
He was so out. He couldn't have been more out.
Yeah, and then it couldn't have been more in.
And then they get him back in. It's just one last job.
Yes, well, it was... Maybe he thought Nongshim deserved it.
That's fair. To be fair, G was being given him some freebies this game, so...
Yeah. I think basically dead. And you've got Carrier lying in wait and moving over as well.
Been up for 30 whole seconds, and it's a little bit late for T1, I feel.
Yeah, let's chill. As Shockwave connects onto 2. Atakan down to 50%, teleport in. Here from Doran, the answering teleport is going to result as Calyx can make his way down. There's the Paranoia. Dawning Shadow doing decent damage, actually, as now the Galio comes in. It's a one-man taunt, but it's onto Gumayushi as they do manage to take the Atakan, and the magical journey brings them all out. Follow that! Do never follow that! Instead, it's a heroic play from Lahans that gets over the wall, and it is going to be Carrier that goes down. Abyssal dive here as Lahans. He's like, man, do I have to do everything myself? And the answer is absolutely. Another public execution there for Doran onto himself.
Well, they managed to get a couple of kills. I really thought Calyx had just gone to his death there, but...
You could sense the frustration. You're like, how dare you get away with this, T1? And so he
it feels so frustrating for them to... Oh, no.
Well, Lahens gets a little bit scared, looks to try and dive away. Heroic Entrance is going to be there this time, as, my God, he survives for so long. Owner is probably dead here, as he looks for a target to try and taxi his way out of the way of, and there is a flash over. Paranoia on top of the Cassante.
For Doran.
Okay, well, they are probably just gonna kill him as well, as he cannot publicly execute himself out of that one. And Gideon gonna be able to lock down the kill. Doran really has had a little bit of a vacation moment towards the end of this particular game. That's gonna even out the gold and also give Nongshim an avenue in to fight for this Drake.
It's a good pickup. He's down for 30 seconds. He should just be able to take it. And T1 decide to let it go, you know? It's only second dragon for Nongshim. They don't have the top lane available. They won't opt to do anything more on the back of this.
Perplexing. I think just wasn't aware that there were so many.
We'll have to press Q a lot. Oh,
Faker is just going to get ulted on here as Gideon comes over, flashes out of the Shockwave. There's the Paranoia, and the stun comes in, but down goes Gideon, and Faker, he's just baited them all in. Let's see whether Gio can make this one happen, but he has to sidestep the Tempered Fate. Owner is still chasing. Faker is still alive. The Dawning Shadow's not enough, as finally the Galio will be able to secure the kill, but Nongshim have well and truly overextended at this point in time. And how many times does Faker have to do this for people to learn that you should not try to chase this man?
They fell for it. They fell for the bait. They try and collapse on a Faker. They think they have the numbers advantage, but the backup comes in force. And one after another, they fall apart. T1 going to get the Baron. Oh, Calyx.
He just kind of walks at them. He's been doing this all game, and it's impressive, the bravery.
You know what? That's solidarity.
Yeah.
He'll die with his team.
He will. He did.
He did do that.
We've got T1 going down relatively low, but they will be able to secure this Baron. If Doran dies to it, that would be very funny.
That would be very funny.
But it doesn't actually happen.
You know why?
Sad.
You know why he doesn't die to it?
Pulling back this game, it's a 4.5k gold lead as well as a result. And this is slowly but surely falling to the wayside here for Nongshim, who, even in this game, there have been moments, right? It has felt, you know, like that rally, you know, the tennis, where the back and forths have been happening, but I feel like the ball is well and truly out of court at this stage for Nongshim. As T1 pushing down with Baron, they are very, very good at using this buff. It's their favorite thing, as we know. And Guma just a few bullets, the last one in the chamber here, as we can see, as he does cleanse. That is a cooldown that they do need to be wary of, but the curtains are going to get called here. And down goes this inhibitor turret. There's the Shockwave combo. They find it. The bullet's going to ring true as well. Deadly Flourish. My God, Gumayushi. Do not give this man the Jhin or the Varus, and they did both in this series. As Kingan's going to go down, and once again, you might blink and miss it, as T1 will just close out this game number 2. And my goodness, what a week for this team, taking down Gen G, going from strength to strength here with a swift 2-0 over Nongshim, feeling like they're back here in round 3.
I feel like Nongshim had moments in this game, in the last game, where it felt like maybe they'd be able to have an edge, but when it came to the decisive, game-deciding parts of this match, T1 were just so far ahead. Once again, showing their skill, showing why they are now in such great form, able to take down Gen G over the decisive 2-0 victory over Nongshim with some phenomenal